Welcome to Where Is My Mind, a podcast where we eat pigs. I'm a large vat of abused face powder, Parker.
I'm that granola bar that you call lunch on a busy day, Ryan.
That was literally me earlier.
I had to choose something relatable, and we all have
No,
that.
that is the most like truthful we have ever been on this podcast. Is we do eat, but it's like
Do
some
we?
days
We watch
do we?
films. Yeah.
That's my food. I just watch movies in between classes, and that's my food. Now, today, would you like to talk about today's episode?
No.
Okay. Good night, everyone.
This is gonna be one of our most fun episodes.
This is because we're trying out, I guess we could say we're trying out a new format because we're tired of doing plot synopsises. That's boring. No one wants to hear the plot of a movie rattled off to them when they can go actually watch the movie.
And we can speak the bullshit
Yeah,
pretty effectively.
we're bullshitters. God, I can't wait to edit this and be like, I hate it here.
There are worse places to be
I know.
in a short amount of time.
Today, we are talking about Love and Anarchy. Something I had no knowledge of until you were like, let's do an episode on it. And I was like, okay, you told me this wasn't going to be research heavy. What are you doing?
You needed a lot more Italian women screaming and yelling at each other, because that helps soothe the pain of daily existence.
It does. Yes, it does.
So Love and Anarchy is directed by Lina
Wertmuller. German. It's a German name. I wonder how, like, she ended up with a German last name. I do wonder.
Dads.
Yeah.
She's just as Italian as anyone, and the white glasses make everything
very Italian.
I mean, I think she knows Italian culture probably, I don't know.
She knew it pretty damn well.
Likely got her into a lot of trouble. The only caveat of her films are that for as much as some of us genuinely love them, there's a lot of the art house crowd that looks at it not just as pretentious, but as inflammatory or inappropriate. And to them, I say, watch Swept Away. And by that, I mean the Guy Ritchie film with Madonna.
Yeah, just watch that and tell me it's pretentious. We did not watch that for this episode because even though I love Madonna, I also have just the slightest bit of self-respect. And I did not want to put myself through a Madonna movie, especially not one from the early 2000s.
Yeah, decisions were made on that. And
choices.
Choices.
Choices. This is my first time seeing anything from like this ilk of cinema at all. Because I haven't. Wertmuller was also a assistant to Fellini on 8.5, and I haven't seen any Fellini.
It's okay.
I wasn't a snob at 14. That was like a good opportunity, I guess. If all the movies were at 2 hours, maybe I would be more prepared for this, but that's okay.
I'm the non 8.5 enjoying Fellini fan. I like Roma. I like Satyricon, Casanova. There are certain colorful, wonderful films. 8.5, not for me. Not my kind of movie.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's okay. You know.
That's okay. I only watched Mark Ward, and I like thought it was nice and everything. It also wasn't my gig, but I was like, this is nice. You know, I appreciate what's going on.
The music is good. It has some kinky strangeness going on in it as well.
At times, yes.
At times,
that's
and
very
that's
true.
Fellini.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. So that's what we're talking about today.
In this film, we have Giancarlo Giannini as Tunin, or Tunino, as I was calling him for most of the film, because it's just too much fun. Like, if you say Tunino, it's an Olive Garden thing.
The ultimate puppy dog eyes.
Oh, and the freckles.
Beautiful. I love it.
I mean, apparently it took considerable time to paint all the freckles onto his face. And he just stares like he's going to get killed or that he's going to die any moment.
It's the 1,000-yard stare.
It is, but it's fear. It's unique.
This whole movie, he's very nervous. The best way to summarize his character is quiet but extremely angry. Because he is involved in a plot to kill Mussolini. That guy.
Having his friend murdered right in the film starts with a murder. Right out of the gate, we're in territory that is not good. He's basically taking over the role of the friend that was murdered, who was attempting to assassinate Mussolini. And so now we have poor Tonino. He is wrapped up.
I cannot take you seriously. Ugh.
Now, Giannini was in Libido. And Libido is the most wonderful I shouldn't say first, but close to one of the first post-Krimi Giallo films.
Yeah. Yeah.
and he's amazing in that film. It's finally on Blu-ray. Giannini was also in Fassbender's Lily Marlene. He's also in the movie Hannibal, modern film.
Shit, he is?
Yeah, he's the main detective in Hannibal,
Oh,
the film.
shit!
Yeah, yeah. So things went really. I don't want to say downhill, but when you go from some heavyweight directors to Hannibal,
I
that's
like Hannibal.
it's
I thought
fine.
it was a fun movie. How dare you? I'm not. It's not like Silence of the Lambs good, but I thought it was fine.
It is. Yeah, it's fun. I
I
mean,
don't
you have
know. I enjoy
the Cordell
seeing.
guy is kind of fun
Yeah,
with the face eaten off by pigs stuff, and
yeah. I don't remember all the character names. I love Anthony Hopkins. It's fine. He also, I think Giancarlo also dubs Robert De Niro. Like he's the official Italian dubber of
interesting.
him. Yeah. So just very interesting to think about when you're watching stuff like The Casino, a movie that I have actually seen
Well, and Lena loved him like crazy and cast him in Seven Beauties
so much.
and Seduction of Mimi as well. But like Black Belly of Tarantula, I think is because it's Giallo and it's Giancarlo. You can't go wrong.
Yeah,
Good stuff. We also have Mariangela Mulatto as Salome, and she's another one. She's in a ton of Lena's films. Also, Elio Petri's The Working Class Go to Heaven, which is a really significant, meaningful film. And Claude Chabrol's Nada with Fabio Testi.
she's also in a bunch of Wertmuller.
She is. Yeah.
Not as often as Giancarlo, but still quite a bit.
She was in a Polizio film that
Hmm.
Steno did called The Execution Squad that was kind of interesting as well. We get Lena Polito as Tripolina, and she was in All Screwed Up, which is a Wertmuller film. But as we discovered, we were like, oh, she was also in Nazi exploitation.
Yum, because everyone's favorite genre is Nazi exploitation.
It's usually Giallo, but if you've already exhausted that, then the next logical.
Not every well, sorry, not everyone's forthcoming, and people are very forthcoming about like giallo stuff. As I think we know.
It's
We've
hip.
talked about
It's
we've
hip.
talked about it here before.
A little bit.
Um, Nazi exploitation, not so much. People are not willing to say yes. Ilsa, she will fill the SS is great. Not everyone is willing to admit that.
It's a great name for a dog, but the Ilsa of popular films, that's the only thing anybody's ever going to ask. So,
A certain movie with a certain character that has a similar name that I more yeah I totally watched as a kid at a sleepover.
I mean, it beats Deported Women of the SS Special Section in 1976. If you're 12, like that's
Isn't it?
probably not the best.
Is that the one the actress we're talking about was in?
Yes, it
You
is.
said something like that, and I was just like, that's a
Yes, it
weird way to
is.
tie it in.
So, and we also have Eros Pani as Spataletti, who is, oh God, I can't wait to talk about him.
I hate him so much.
Yeah, this
I hate
man,
him.
he has an incredible hateable face. He's a handsome bastard,
He's
but
so punchable.
he does it
He's
well.
like you. He's punchable.
We have
Yeah.
that Southern Italian. I'm telling you, we have we have a
No
look.
one would know your goddamn last name's not Italian, you fuck.
uh,
I know that much about you. I
no,
don't.
that's
Don't say it.
that's German. That's the German.
You're serious?
I am serious. If Rammstein has a song about your name, you might
Oh
no.
fuck, you're right. You're fuck. No,
Yeah,
that no,
yeah.
no, you're wrong. No,
Okay,
because that. You know what?
it
It's fine. We're
is.
just getting off topic.
so
Don't deal
so
with that here.
Spataletti, he had the actor Eros. He was a small tiny part in Deep Red, Mr. Swept Away, and then All Screwed Up. So another of Lena's troupe. At this point, we're in the Fassbender territory of like they love these 12 faces of different actors and they're going to use them. She's going to pick the
keep
precise
keep him
people.
coming. Yeah,
Keep them
or like
coming.
Schlingensief. He
Yeah.
would just he would just have like a regular cast he would get.
And the
A lot of
actors
regulars.
they have range. They have a lot of range. And I think that's a testament to
They
their
do.
talent actually is that you can't simply do that if the actors do not have demonstrable talent to change.
Well, that and like her writing abilities, because like, does everything kind of boil down to like a similar social message? Yes. Is it portrayed in different scenarios, all of which are interesting and engaging, also yes.
She reminds me of Schlingensief in as much as they're masterful at what they're talking about and how the audience is receiving that. And
Yeah.
it often is it's not triggering particularly, but
No,
but
no, she's
Lena
not.
knows how to needle. She can needle the audience.
Well, Schlingensief can be like confused with like annoying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lena can't.
No.
I mean, like, I can see people, I've heard people be like, I don't like, the way all of her characters yell. And I'm like, you don't know what all the characters yelling is. You just don't. You don't get it. You haven't seen
Yeah.
what I've seen.
Y-
Like, I literally, okay, you know the book I got recently, Fleshbot? In the
Yes.
Udo chapter, yeah, I said that right. She talks about some certain aspects of the Schlingensief films. And there's literally, like, a side note of, like, Schlingensief's films are the most overstimulating things since John Waters' Desperate Living. They are not, for like an author to like just take time out of their day to point that out is, I think, says it all.
Yeah, because I mean, with his films, it's as if the crystal meth has all been like crushed up and all the trucker speed is gone.
All the uppers and meth
Yeah.
have been taken, and it's everything. That's why everything's so quick too. Thank God.
It does help for his run times because they don't overstay their way. They don't
These
generally
are
overstay.
2 hours, and that was why I got so overwhelmed so quickly. As you know, we've.
Lena is
Why
very
did you do
full.
this?
She, well, I think, as
I'm so curious why this, genuinely.
I think for me, it's about how talented she is versus how lack of like I don't want to say public, but there's just a lack of acknowledgement. And the
Yeah.
documentary came out, and that pissed me off even more that people didn't know who she was and hadn't seen her films. And I think that's what really like made me go, Lena, you're getting your month.
Yeah.
You're getting your episode. Girl, this is like you earned this shit. People should really take a look at her films in general, and certain ones may resonate better. But Love and
We'll
Anarchy,
talk about that.
depending on what your taste and likes are. But Love and
hmm
Anarchy, I think, works on a universal level,
This was my favorite by far.
and it can be fairly prescient stuff. She's
Yeah.
able to deliver socio-political message or exploratory moments. She can deliver the medicine without it tasting like medicine sometimes. And the
Yeah,
cinematography is so damn good. I mean, it's really stellar. But as we talked about briefly, the amount of dialogue in this film can be really hard for some of us. And I looked at it as a challenge because
it
the
is.
first 15 minutes of this movie, I was getting upset. I was like, this is making me not uncomfortable, but it's just a machine gun staccato. It's that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Had to make my mouth noises I only make in orchestra. But yeah.
there's nothing like soothing, but then you do sort of you get into a groove of her style, and then you start to really care about the characters. The biggest thing to me is really her portrayal of Janini and Mulatto as kind of the
Their
two.
dynamic is different in every movie.
Yeah.
It is very different. It is like, I think, I'll be so honest, I got halfway through the seduction of Mimi and I was like, that's it. I'm burnt out. I'm tired. No more. So I can't tell you about that. But Swept Away, holy shit.
It's a powerhouse of a
What the
film.
fuck?
Yeah.
What the actual fuck?
I I don't know where Lena's head was at on that film.
Who hurt you?
This film
Who?
makes much more sense.
This one does.
That's all.
I mean, it's
Logic.
still like, yeah, it just feels correct. There's anger coming from all sides, but it feels actually like justified here.
And it's a Fassbender downer. And you know me, I love a good
Yes.
just
Oh, it's such a
but
painful ending.
yeah, and there's a joy delight factor to the characters that simply know like things aren't always going to end up well.
hmm
But in flashes, in these glimpse moments, there is kind of there's entertainment. They seem to be determined. So there's like I think I dig that part of
This is not a happy movie, even though like the characters act like people. And there are some fun moments, I think. It feels the whole thing feels very natural. This does have a pretty not great ending. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that it is honest to the film, at least.
Have we talked about when the time period this takes place? I don't feel like
No,
we've said
no,
that.
we
Yeah,
haven't.
we should mention that. This is 1940s Italy. I mean, I've mentioned Mussolini, but we might as well get specific. This is World War II Italy. I will say this as someone who was involved in the American public school system for some time, about 12 years, involuntarily. You don't really talk much about what happens in Italy during this time period. At least in school, you always talk about, things like the Holocaust and like what was going on in Japan and other battles, but you don't really hear much of this political climate of what's going on in Italy. And that might just be because I'm taking it, because it's American history. But like before I watched this, I'll be so honest, I wasn't really aware of like what the political climate in Italy was like.
A hot mess.
It's a hot mess. It's not that it's like that totalitarian, if you don't go with the flow, you're fucked and you're wrong. What do you want to fucking call him?
He's not a fervent anarchist by any
He's
stretch.
not, but he's like definitely there. He has to be secretive this entire film, and you feel bad for him and his puppy dog eyes, but
And his
yeah,
choice for kind of this cause to cause upheaval, change, etc.,
this
is it's such a desperate type
yeah,
thing from him, but also it's a validation thing. And those puppy dog eyes is
yeah,
often the this battered masculine that is
yeah,
not complete or thinks he'll find a certain completeness in this endeavor, which is to his mind a righteous thing to do, etc.
yeah. Do you want to talk about like the actual romance aspect of it? Because this is
Yeah.
legally speaking, this is a romance.
Well, it is, although it's a strange one because
It's
it does
weird.
begin with Salome,
Yeah, named after the biblical character, no less.
right? She's effectively like a double agent, and she takes
Yeah.
Tanino in.
They're gonna get people confused about this man's name.
Tune in, tune in, tune in.
Get out of my fucking house.
So our boy, she takes him in as she's well, connected to the underground of this operation, and we find out that, of course, her significant other was killed by the fascist black shirts in his own attempt to
Mm,
oust Mussolini. And yeah, so she guises him as her cousin, and he is not her cousin. And in fact, they
absolutely not.
do have a tryst of
They do.
sorts
Not shown, but yes, they do.
and inferred. And that kind
I
of
would
just
like for it to not be shown
it
for
blows
once.
over. I mean, it
No,
blows
it
over
really does.
fast.
They don't care. It's just kind of like, that happened. Oh, well.
Yeah. But he meets Tripolina, and Tripolina is the everything he could ever want, effectively. And she's really, so we should also say Salome, Tripolina, etc. All of our characters, this film does take place under the auspices of a brothel. So that is most of our central location. And I don't know that any brothel is this insane and crazy in Italy at the time period, but it seems completely believable. I want this to be
No, yeah, it's
exactly
convincing.
as just wild banter between different kind of matrons and madam structural folks and so on. Yeah, he's wrapped up in this endeavor, but he sees Tripolina, everything changes. And frankly, instead of her attempts to sort of treat him like a John or customer in all that capacity,
He can't.
doesn't work. And so
Yeah.
he goes this whole like softer, tender side,
Hmm.
and she almost only provides a certain, like, the only somewhat redemption he gets in his really flawed, potential operation here is um is that attention from her. Yeah, it does. It has a lot of a really different peculiar love story element. Salome is everything in this film. Mulatto
She
is
is much more
everything.
memorable.
I actually find his lack of so the other thing is he doesn't speak, but probably like 8 lines of dialogue in this entire film. He just stares. He stares a
Same much. He
lot.
observes everything.
He watches, kind of takes everything in,
Yeah.
and people feel bad for him or they're hawkish towards him and everything. Like,
It's almost like he's the narrator. He like never says anything. He just kind of watches.
yeah, there's the sequence of him eating an apple where it's just him consuming an apple.
And then like but there's like the pros I think it's Tripolina or someone is like
Hmm.
singing in the background and they're all together. Yeah.
The music is incredible in this film.
Oh, so good.
It's Nina Rota, so The
Yeah.
Godfather, you're just like, this is going to be
Amazing.
fantastic.
Automatically. Yeah, she had him score a lot of her films, right?
Yeah, very fortunate. And I don't know where he was at in his career, but he was just killing it. I mean, this is an
Amazing.
immensely talented person.
Amazing. And you pair that with like the cinematography.
Yep.
It's really good.
Yeah, Giuseppe Rotuno, notable for Bob Fosse's All That Jazz and
Oh.
a bundle of Fellini films. He did all of, Amarcord, Satyricon, Roma,
Oh, okay. That makes
Casanova,
a lot of
did
sense.
all of them, and you're like, yep,
Yep.
that's our
That makes
guy.
sense. That I was like, why I was watching Amarcord, I was like, why does this feel so familiar? I didn't check the crew list or anything.
And Fellini's so known for world building,
Yeah.
but Lena, I mean,
She focuses on the characters more. She doesn't focus on the world building as much. Even if I mean Rome is kind of the back set, backdrop,
backdrop.
backdrop.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes. I know English. Um, yeah, Rome is kind of the backdrop to everything that almost everything that happens in this film. If it like we're not in the brothel.
yeah. The brothel sequences are so wonderful that I didn't see anything similar previous to this. The closest thing would be maybe there's some sequences in the film Moonstruck that depict there's like a certain cadence specialty for when Italian and or Italian American sometimes banter works, and it's a to me it's like a comedic effect that it has a certain dance to it. It has almost a
Hmm.
musical component to the way that they do that. And yeah, Lena had it where she's just there are moments where you're like right on a knife's edge where this could just flop. This could go really bad,
It
but
could get really
somehow she
bad really
knows
quickly.
she surfs the waves. That's all I can say. It's like she doesn't fall off the surfboard.
The documentary we watched that was it Kino Lorber that produced it?
Yes.
Behind the White Glasses, they like give it's a very good look at who she is as a person. I believe she died in 2019 or
Yep.
like fairly recently.
Yeah.
This was made before that. They interviewed her for a lot of it. And she's just like, I mean, she's a firecracker.
She's the coolest aunt,
She really is.
grandmother, all sorts of figures you could want. But I at the same time, like I say that, but she also has sides to her personality that are just absolutely strength driven, where
Hmm.
she is not going to take any prisoners. She's going
No,
to talk about what she wants to talk about,
no, she's very
and
strong-willed.
strong willed is,
Very strong-willed.
yeah.
Maybe not an easy person to be friends with or be in the room with, but very captivating nonetheless.
And these characters have analogous components to them, um, to people in modern life that are just like I think of Spataletti, where I'm just like he's just a bumbling idiot that basically
Fuck you,
follows.
Spataletti.
He's just
You're
such
an
a
awful
bastard,
character and I don't like you.
right? And to get that response for that, not just like the actor but the writing, for everything to be just right,
Yeah.
and he's just like a bumbling
This poor actor has to deal with us ripping him to shreds.
you feel bad saying it
You
because
do
they're
feel
that
bad.
good. They're that he's
He's very hateable, very easily
yeah,
hateable.
and it's a faux sort of Mussolini El Duce. He does a lot of the mannerisms that his idol apparently also kind of did. So he works as basically the private security detail for Mussolini, and so his bravado is pretty over the top, and it's
Whew!
ironic because he discusses how achievable and attainable all of the women are in the film, yet the one person that he can't seem to, like, gain her heart is Salome. And
No,
it's
no,
it's
sir.
ironic, and he like props her up as saying like she is the one that's like, always in control. Like he has this weird like love respect for her because but he's so bad. I think that's the
So, he's horrible to watch.
yep,
Let me think.
just a bully, just like a
Spataletti, he's
simple
awful,
bully.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what nearly made me cry when I was doing my rewatch of it? This is so stupid. Wait, okay, so this is after like Tunin and Spataletti have like been fucking around in like a courtyard or something in Rome. Tunin tries to get back into the brothel to like stay for the night. Not to like
Mm-hmm.
sleep with anyone, but like to stay for the night. And the manager there is just like, no, go away. And so he's walking around Rome and he finds a kitten, like a
Yep.
little tuxedo kitten, and like starts talking to this. And he's like, did your folks also kick you out? It's just like he's like, why are you purring? It's like the sweetest thing. It's just like this little tiny kitten, and he brings it back to the hotel with him, and then we never hear of it again. And he realizes how similar he is to this kitten, that he's like super lonely. And I was just like, why am I sad?
Yeah, there's heartstring
There's
moments
just
where
moments you're like, damn,
oh yeah,
damn, like
it's
you're taken out of like, I mean, yeah, you'll have like the joyous singing and the banter and all that, but then there's moments of like, holy shit, like we got real here real quick.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not what you think it was going to be
Mm-mm.
at all by the entire
Dude,
first
I don't know
half of the
what I
film,
wanted.
right?
Dude, I don't know what I wanted.
That kitten can work wonders. And we
Exactly.
all know if you're an animal lover in
Yeah.
general, it cuts right through to
Just like I want
real stuff.
guys, I want Nugget. I post him about him on the podcast account every once in a while. Because I'm just, when I have like an announcement, I'll just post a picture of him and say whatever I need to say. Because I'm just like, I miss my cat. You're probably thinking to yourself, why aren't my dogs getting any attention?
They
I'm
get
like,
enough. They get
they
those little
they have a whole social media
those I was
page
gonna say those little
devoted to
digital
them. I don't want to
warriors.
hear it.
Yeah.
I want to hear it. I'm like, Nuggets exposure comes from me and the podcast, and that's enough. Maybe I should start putting pictures of Ripley.
I think yeah. My cat would do, but yeah, I think
Yeah,
cats are
the
more of
Grey
a
Ghost.
yes. The old lady.
It's so funny because we have both a fascist. You have a fascist cat, and I have a fat Italian cat. It all works out.
Yeah, because Ripley runs me banon is what I call it. I mean, I didn't know that you could meow, stop the steal, but that's, I guess, just, stuff you catch your cat doing it at
Yeah, that's so
1 in the
weird. Yeah, no,
morning.
mine just like screams for pasta constantly.
Sure. Until they get booked on the Steve Bannon Power Hour, that's when you know you got to have an intervention.
Okay, back to the movie.
Let's learn Italian through prostitution.
Do you want to?
Is there Duolingo for that? Like, I only want Italian movies to just help teach me Italian through.
Yeah, so I can like multitask. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a pain with this research too, because everything I had to watch was in Italian, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Doing 2 Italian articles in a row, and now I have to watch Italian stuff for this episode, and I am mad. I have to basically learn a language.
It's a
It's
comfort
so
zone for some of
it
us.
is. It is Italian is a very comforting language, and it feels like very natural in this.
I really don't know very much Italian, but sometimes I just walk around and if I hear enough of it going in the background that I'm just usually like bamba ba bimba bamba ba ba bamba like and I just
Can't say that.
completely yeah, I can.
Can't beat the
Some
allegations.
well I mean there's really not like it's funny this film doesn't have stereotypes
Mm-mm.
that are in any way offensive or inaccurate. It's
This movie
really
is the stereotype of Italian women are loud. I mean, okay,
yeah, and it's not true. And
this
not
and
that's
Swept
not
Away are
yeah.
like the stereotypes of Italian women are loud bitches. That is what this and Swept Away are.
I'm here for it. I dig in
No,
that.
it's fine.
Lena grabs that mic, and that's what I'm all
No, this
about.
is fine. That's not a criticism. That is an observation.
It's a
Ugh,
passionate culture of folks that,
yes.
and there are also just quiet, shy people. And good example is our main guy here who's just trying to eat an
He's just
apple,
chilling. He's
fall
just
in
trying to eat
love,
an apple and kill.
Mussolini.
Yeah. I was gonna say my Führer, and I was just like,
Yeah, not
no,
that
wrong
guy.
country, wrong
No,
country.
no,
At least don't put mine in. At least don't put mine near it. Also, to anyone who thinks I'm German, go fuck yourself.
you're
I'm
Swiss.
not. No, I'm not Swiss. None of that. I don't speak German. I only know a little bit from Duolingo. I'm not German in any way, shape, or form.
The love letters from Hitler to Mussolini are their own
Ah!
rabbit hole if you want to. And
Are you serious? Oh
I'm actually
god.
not joking whatsoever. Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah. So, and this is going like 10, I want to say 10 to 12 years before his rise to power in any capacity, that in fact he was a Mussolini fanboy
I
and that
hate
he
you.
was the example. He was the reason for that, you know? Yeah. 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 So El Duce is
Why
the,
do you know this?
uh,
Why?
because there's a film with George C. Scott that plays Mussolini, or the
Someone's been on like AO3 too much.
I
That's
don't
what it sounds. That's what it sounds
I
like.
have heard of that. Doesn't sound good.
You've only heard bad things. I need my friends who do like fanfic to like look up on AO3. Hey, is there any like Hitler Mussolini stuff on there? Because I have questions.
Yeah. Well, one was Daddy and the other one was
No,
Adolf. So,
no,
yeah,
no, no, no.
just
I don't want to. No,
I think
no,
that's how that no.
no. The answer is no. The answer is incorrect. The answer is you're wrong.
Do you know how Mussolini died? Are you familiar with what happened to him and his wife?
He didn't get assassinated, did he?
Yeah, they drag him
I mean,
through the streets. He was drugged through the streets and kicked and beaten by everyone in the public,
Jesus.
and then they hung him
Okay.
upside down in a dress, effectively, and the wife and whatnot. And I use that term loosely, but yeah, for all to look at. For
Bound through marriage.
everybody got to punch him in the face, his dead ass face.
Jesus.
Pretty grim stuff. You can see photos of it. There's lots to.
I don't know if I want you feeding me misinformation, so I'm just gonna smile and nod my head.
Yeah,
Sorry, I didn't
it's a
expect to get my
thing.
Italian history lesson through this fucking
I'll tell you
podcast.
what, that kind of grim ending didn't really happen again until Nicolae Ceausescu. Now, Ceausescu and his wife, they were just, you know, taken out of power, put into a room, and then the military off them.
Okay,
Is
well,
what happens.
JFK had his brains blown out onto his wife's pink dress, so I don't want to hear it
Live TV, but shouldn't,
on live TV.
the whole paying the customers and the sort of like hierarchy within the brothel
That
kind
is
of stuff,
interesting. Yeah,
right?
yeah, I didn't cover it. I was like,
I mean, but, that's not really so much of a thing. Let's talk about objectification of women because Lena knows a lot about this.
it's interesting.
It's not terrible because her statement upon it is by usage of the camera showing body parts and quick clip motion stuff. I think it actually, instead of being exploitative, I think it
Mm-mm-mm.
forces the viewer to go, that's what this looks like.
Well, it's
It's
not exploitative. That is
no,
true. I don't know. I'm gonna keep referencing Swept Away, but holy shit, that movie made me lose my shit with how much of an asshole Mulatto is, but how objectified she is.
yes.
Made me lose it. I was like, you just hate her. It's equal opportunity in her films. Everyone's game.
I think she looks at it as a fair play type
Yeah,
um,
absolutely.
perspective. So nobody's safe. You're not safe with any
No
of
one is safe.
the male or female characters within her films. Anyone has a potential to fail
Yeah.
the viewer
Because
of
the whole
whatever
point
empathy.
of Giancarlo in this is like, he doesn't feel like a man he doesn't feel like he has any purpose unless he kills Il Duce.
Which is
How pathetic.
pathetic. It is. It's
Pathetic!
right. Exactly.
Pathetic. Yeah, he's just like this quiet little guy
He's
for
a
most
fucking
of it.
loser. I think that's what
He's
they
a
call it.
loser.
He's just a
He's
loser,
a loser.
and
Yeah.
we do feel empathy for him because he's the
He is one of the more
bumbling.
likable
He's
characters.
one of the more like, yeah, that's right.
He's one of the more likable characters, but like, yeah, no. Like all like Salome is much more fiery. She's not a bad person necessarily.
She knows the game. She knows the whole
Yeah, I
game,
wouldn't say
you
she's
know?
as likable as Tunin, but
No. But
yeah.
she's able to use Spataletti for that
Oh yeah.
access that's required for the plot of the film to move forward.
We can talk about the ending now, I think.
Yes.
I think we're We're 40 something minutes and we think we could
Yep.
talk about it. I mean, she and Tripolina end up double crossing Tuning because they don't wake him up to go actually do the fucking thing he's been wanting to do this entire film. They purposely don't wake him up to do this thing.
Yeah.
So
They foil the entire plan.
they totally foil it because at the end of the day, they are trying to save their own asses. Just like everyone else trying to skate by in this awful, awful, awful time of history. What?
It is. It touches exactly upon our nature of
It is
self-preservation.
self-preservation. Yeah.
And that's the nice way to put it. The difference is when it's like self-preservation and you've stepped on 20 people in order to get that better cut of steak.
Okay, but they've only stepped on Tunan's sad little toes. So
Correct.
I don't feel as bad, even if Mussolini's a goddamn asshole and fucks Hitler in his dreams. But
Also, the Tunin kiss on Tripolina is pretty aggressive and strange, and
oh,
that's a
that okay, yeah, totally forgot about that when I tried rewatching this the other night. I was like, huh?
he portrays to be passive in nature, and then that happens.
That happens. You're like,
Yeah.
not as weird as his character in Swept Away.
No.
Not nearly, because he fucking rapes Mulatto's character in that, and then she falls in love with him. Ugh.
That's not good.
That's not good.
Okay.
It's not good. It's not. It's not even like a hard film to watch. It just sucks. This film is like self-preservation is kind of prioritized. Unfortunate, at the cost of like, maybe not fucking overthrowing the government. Swept Away is none of that. And it is annoying to watch if you don't know what you're getting into. If you don't go in knowing you're gonna hate these two main characters no matter what they do,
Yeah.
you're gonna have a bad time.
I don't watch those kind of films.
Didn't you watch it to
Yes.
prepare for this episode? Okay.
But in general, they're upsetting.
Didn't you sit through the entirety of didn't you sit through Christoph Schlingensief's filmography with me?
Yes, I did.
Then I don't want to hear it.
That's correct.
You're gonna hate me next episode.
It's gonna
because
the downside.
It's gonna be awful.
It's
gonna be awful.
The runtime on this film is one thing.
2 hours. You want to talk about it? You want to rationalize it?
No, I can't.
You want to explain it because I can't.
I can't defend it because it went.
I can't defend it either. I'm like,
it's 35 minutes too long.
No, it's too. Maybe not that much, but it is. It needs like at least 20 minutes cut.
The story is very threadbare, and there's a lot of character work, and I like that.
Which is fine.
I'm okay,
But there's a lot of like just landscape shots and stuff like that where I'm just like, or like unnecessary scenes where I'm just like, we don't have to have this. Like, this isn't building on anything. It's just camera porn.
I've never been so happy taking screen caps though to promote this episode.
Yeah.
For you to promote this episode because that's your thing. Because there's some really neat stuff here.
It's beautiful looking, but we can have beautiful looking things and also not have me lose my shit.
And there's no audio clips because it's all in Italian and we'll just piss everybody off if we put that in.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's a dub of it. Yeah.
There's a dub of this?
Is there? I don't think so.
No.
I don't want there to be a dub of it.
I do, just but from people that I like.
I think Madonna should dub Mariangela Mulatto in all of her films. Just for irony's sake. Now,
it'd be kind of fun.
That'd be awful. I don't care if Madonna's a Italian American. That would be horrid.
I think she's in Northern Italian, so that's basically half Swiss German.
I guess so, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe she's not. I really don't know. You're the Madge fan.
Just enough.
This is the alarm clock from hell that doesn't go off, and it upsets me that they ruin him. Meaning the worst alarm that doesn't go off that totally ruins. It kills a man. A person dies because of that lack of friendship and respect to wake a friend up, and they didn't.
So is it justified?
I ask the questions around here.
Shut up. No, you don't. You're horrible at asking questions. You know you are. It's the question, dipshit.
It is. It's justified for themselves.
Yes.
And it's justified for their conscience to preserve and protect him from himself.
But they don't expect the reaction they get from him. or at least a part of it,
No, because he absolutely loses
fucking
his
loses
mind
it.
and starts throwing everything in the room and screaming, going crazy. It's the pinnacle scene of the
It's
film.
like an incel.
I mean, except they don't have an audience. I mean,
Well, I
in a
know. Well,
way, but yeah,
yeah,
you
he
know,
totally does. And then he gets beaten by the police outside, which it's like,
yeah.
listen, man, we're not rooting for the police in this movie. Jesus
The
Christ.
the beautiful irony, of course, is like the beating of him that results in his death that is then reframed in the newspaper as him having effectively like an episode and hitting himself. His own self-destruction is what killed him
Yep.
by proxy of a suicide type thing, and it's
They
completely
do frame it in like a
it is. He's a patsy of
self
sorts.
suicide way, and it's just
Yeah.
like, hey, look at this guy.
Yeah, and it's what you would expect from the political structure climate. It is like the yeah, hate to say like the big lie, but it is just sort of like, well,
No, it is.
corruption is normal. Everyone is a liar. It's a cynical view.
Well, at that point, yeah, because like this point, it's like corruption on steroids because of
Yeah.
totalitarianism. So, I mean, we both know what was happening to fucking Nazi Germany and Japan. We know what's happening in today's political climate. I don't want to hear it.
And then I have to say, just the Italians are terrible at war. This doesn't work out for them. they're not. They're yeah, as an army, etc.
Guys, I'm not a history buff. I don't know if you can tell, but I can't. I'm not a history. I'm not a history buff, but even I know, yeah, this is not working out well for you.
No, poor Tunin, he dies a miserable, sad death,
Yep.
and it's completely distorted from what the actual ending of his life was, which is apropos, of course, to the beginning of the film, which was again, we start with death, we end with death. Everything in the center is trying
Yeah,
to
and it's
sort
yeah, and
out.
it's not a coup or anything. So
No, no,
it's
no.
not like the CIA killed him or some shit.
Sure, yeah, it doesn't have.
It's like, no, you did cause this, but like this is still bad. All right, who wants to go first?
What did you pick?
Okay. Okay. First pick. I did an article on Bianchi. It'll probably be up soon. It's about Burial Ground specifically, but just to make sure I covered all the bases, and because I'm an overachiever, I watched other Bianchi movies. All of them made me question my life
The special
and my.
ones,
Shut
the
up!
finest delights.
I'm not gonna recommend what you think I'm gonna recommend.
Okay,
What do you think I'm gonna recommend?
Peeper.
No, absolutely not. Strip nude for your killer. I did not expect it to be one of my favorite giallos I've seen. Now, granted, I have seen very little giallo because I'm a child in this cruel world. Actually, you will find out I'm not a child in the Horror Gives Back episode. Curse you, Lance and Erica, for putting a birther category on that. But this is one of those movies I can't tell you what happened in it to save my ass. But it was nice to look at, and Edwidge was in it. Bianchi and like every movie has to have something fucking disgusting in it. And I live for that sort of thing because I'm a broken person.
Edwidge has a pixie cut too. It's one
She
of her short.
does.
She
She
has
is
this
amazing.
awesome
She is
look.
amazing. Dare I say it takes I don't know, I'm like just now talking about it, I'm like realizing that like cuz it's about like a bunch of models, right? Takes an interesting it's like that's an interesting note from Blood and Black Lace I wouldn't have thought about cuz Blood and Black Lace is about like a fashion studio or whatever. So, it's an with all these beautiful women. So, is it crazy? Yes. Do I highly recommend it if you're gonna watch a Bianchi outside of Burial Ground? Yes. I'm not gonna tell you to go watch What the Peeper Saw because that movie broke me. I hate kids.
Yeah, if you think of like the Omen triggering you,
It's bad. Like anything with an evil kid will
yeah,
make me mad. This movie goes above. Peeper goes above and beyond that to like the worst levels.
hmm
And you're like, you hate kids more than you thought you could. I mean, it's bad. It does end in a beautiful way, but it is horrid. That is not what I'm recommending. I'm recommending Strip Nude for Your Killer. It's my first pick. Second pick is something I took notes to because I needed background noise, and I actually ended up really, really enjoying it. It's the Agfa Horror Trailer Show. For those that do not know what American Genre Film Archive is, or AGFA. Shame on you, go look it up. They restore lots of lost, underseen, wacky movies. A few years ago, they put out like a feature length compilation of like a bunch of old trailers, most of which are definitely more interesting than the films themselves. And they kind of frame it as like a drive-in thing. Like there's like ads for like local businesses and like concessions and all that sort of gay. It's like framed in like a grindhouse setting, and it's really it's like the best kind of background noise, and it's great. It does end with a trailer for the Worm Eaters, so if you're not into that sort of thing, you can skip like the last few minutes of it. I nearly puked during that, so someone's having a fun time behind you.
There's only one AGFA, and
There's only one Agpa. They're
it's
amazing.
yeah.
They are actually amazing, and I love them. Oh, what do I pick? Okay. And then finally, to unfortunately talk about my roots, because we totally have not done that this episode. 2000 Maniacs, because I wanted to watch a little bit more Herschel Gordon Lewis because I hate myself. Why is that movie so good? Why is it so good? I hate it. A film about a bunch of yuppies or like civilized people going to like this rural ass town in Georgia where there's like a bunch of Confederate flags and they're celebrating the bicentennial of when they killed a bunch of Union soldiers. I'm in.
For 1964, it's as
Whew.
edgy bonkers crazy as
Oh,
can.
it's still edgy today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's fun though. Of course, Herschel Gordon Lewis, not exactly known for his world building or storytelling. He's more known for being a bit of a businessman, and knowing that the only thing that would really sell is something shocking and disgusting. So, of course, in the 60s, that was extreme gore, with red paint. I liked it a lot. I'm really sorry. Yeah, but like I found like the characters in this, like some of the characters in this, to be like actually a bit more likable than what he usually writes. Like it feels like he took an extra day on the script for like the main two characters who are like something funny is going on.
Well, because some of his
If
works
it,
can be a little rushed, and
oh
that's the most
yeah,
polite way I can put it.
no, that's like the nicest way you can put it. Some of it like it's pretty. Sometimes it gets really boring really quickly, and you're just like move on, like keep it moving, dude. But yeah, 2000 Maniacs.
Nice.
Definitely my favorite of his films so far that I have seen, bar none. So yeah, go watch that if you have that Arrow box set. So, what are your picks?
I chose a modern, recent film called Eight Eyes. That's from the Vinegar Syndrome folks, Austin Jennings. It's on Shudder. I had a blast. There's a
Good.
really curious take on some of the horror tropes that most of us are a bit familiar with, but for something that is specifically at times trying to have kind of roots in the 70s. I was very
Interesting.
impressed with the ability of the camera work to pay homage to many of the films that we love from that time period. I don't know that I've seen anything come close to this yet. There's been a few attempts to do that, and the acting is modern. It has nothing to do with the acting particularly, but it's just the style and work that went into the directing and cinematography at times as well. But quite interesting. If you have Shutter, I highly recommend you check this out. I also wanted to mention Behind White Glasses, the Lina documentary is on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. So
Yeah,
that's
that's on
free
YouTube. That's
to
You
check
should all
out.
watch it. If you liked this, if you like what you hear in this, you should probably go watch that because it'll give you a lot more context.
Yeah.
We are not encyclopedias on the films we talk about,
No.
unfortunately.
The second film was a Guy Ritchie film that I'm
Same.
picking, which is a strange one for my taste. Um,
What is it?
Wrath of Man.
Okay. Okay.
And I kind of thought wasn't sure where this is going to come in for me because I'm not all that into action films, etc. But this was a huge return to form of taking small set piece type locations and doing really creative things with it. Jason Statham, again, someone that can be pretty easily shoehorned into like beef on the hoof with a gun, beating the hell out of people. This shows him to be a little bit more nuanced and a little bit more depth. And although his lines aren't copious or anything like that, I was really surprised. I mean, I gave this a 4-star rating, and I'm stingy about this kind of stuff.
You are such a prick when it comes to rating
I
the
live in the
ratings.
two
You
and a
really
half,
are.
3.
I'm a very generous person when it comes to ratings,
You are,
so
yeah,
I'm like super nice. It takes a lot for me to rate something low.
yeah.
Hostile.
Mine usually is at like 3.5. Is a perfectly fine and good movie. For whatever reason, I just arbitrarily choose 4 stars and beyond to be something that has something special within it that changes the way I look at a genre or a prominent actor. Something about the form itself that really.
To be fair, if it gets on like the extreme end of my rating, so like a 4.5, 5, or like a 1, like you have to like make me emotional in some capacity.
Mm,
So I'm glad you feel so highly about my own Private Idaho because I know you gave that a high rating, and I was
I
like, "Fuck
did,
yes!" I was like,
yeah.
"Fuck yes!"
Shocking a film caught me quite off guard.
I was like, "This is not for your demographic at all," but like, I made it work.
Yeah. And sometimes it's a reputation of a film that precedes it, but it has nothing to do with the film. So it could be as simple as a title that you okay, you read the title, you have a impression. And I think
Yeah.
of the B-52s song, and I love the B-52s, so there's a
No.
positive, like,
No.
right? Because that's a
No.
thing.
I love the
However,
B-52s are great.
and
That is
I thought the
not
title was just pretentious, like arty, bad, not self-aware and obnoxious. And then when I watched the film, that turned my it turned everything around, of course, because the film is impressive work and Gus Van Sant is very
it's
special,
incredible. He's
incredible director.
wonderful. That's like one of the few things I have on Discord because I'm like, I'm that guy. Also, is Udo dancing with a lamp, and you know I have to pay for that.
You do prefer Udo with lamp. Yeah.
I do.
My last choice is Saxana, the girl on the broomstick, which is a Vaclav Vorlicek film from 1972, and it involves this ancient young girl that's a ancient witch effectively and then brought into kind of modern times. It's just a fun romp. It's sort of folk horror, I guess, if you're going to kind of put it into
We can
to
say
that.
I
I don't know about
don't know.
that. To me,
People
it's
who
not
have
my
pre-ordered that
thing.
Severin set might get picky
Yeah,
with us,
yeah. So
dude. I'm tired of seeing Severin discourse about like what they picked, what's folklore, or what's not. I'm just like,
I
guys,
just love a box set of films that are great.
I
That's
like
all I
box. I
need.
like spending money. I
Well,
like
yeah.
spending money.
I love Severin unnaturally high, and that's fine because that's more of a me thing.
Hmm.
But yeah,
We don't. I don't know. We treat all
all the
physical
boutiques
media
have, yeah.
boutiques equally here. I think. I don't think we give. I mean, yeah. Do we like Severin a lot? Yes. Do we think their shipping times are aggressively slow? Also, yes.
Sometimes it's just pandering to what my interests are on a remaster
That's
or
true.
something that I go, this is what, the Caligula films, not really my cup. That's okay. But 80-90% of everything else they put out, I just lose it every single time when they have
You say
releases.
Caligula films plural, and that
Yeah,
makes me concerned. Like, out there, you mean there's more than, of course, the Tinto Brass and the
yeah. They put a
Joe
box.
D'Amato? You imply there are
Yeah,
more.
they put a box set out and it came with a coin, with a
Oh
Caligula
my!
coin. Oh yeah,
Oh my
because
god!
there is a fan base. One of those films is really amazing. Girl on a Broomstick, great film. I gave this a 4-star rating for
You
what it
did.
did, which is highly unusual. Again, maybe I was just having a great day and I needed sex Anna. Uh, but
Who
I
doesn't?
don't know. Like a lot of other folks kind of feel really strongly about this, that it might be the film in leverage to get that box set at some point. They are not cheap. They are packed full of films. The value to film is definitely there, because they had Penda's Fen in the first box set, and that's one of the most amazing films I've ever seen in my life. So
Is this something that like Deaf Crocodile would maybe release?
yeah, yep,
Okay,
yep. We get into Czech.
because I see they're releasing Trapped Ashes and Feel a Day soon, and that makes me excited.
Czech cinema has blown
They're
up
interesting.
right now, and I
Yes,
don't know if
I directly blame Deaf Crocodile
yeah.
because they're amazing. So yeah, come, we'll have you on your podcast if it means special things. We'll
I
have
don't
you on our
I don't think we're
podcast.
going to get screeners anytime soon if we're,
I
but
know,
that's
I know,
okay.
but I know, but I'm nice. So
That's right. What are we doing for our next episode?
we're doing. I like how okay. So I don't know if you've noticed
You're
or have looked
prefacing the
at.
pain, I
I
think.
am.
Yeah.
I am. If you notice my ratings for every film we have covered on the podcast up to this point, so I think 8 episodes, 9, 10. I'm not counting. I'm not that vain. Given everything, pretty high rating. Like objectively pretty nice. Like 4 stars or above. I did not give this next episode any of that. I gave it 2.5. And it's only because I watched it late at night and was in a really slap happy mood. It is the 1998 R-rated television movie, Modern Vampires.
R-rated television movie. That's really a rare thing.
Yeah.
That's a golden goose there.
It is total bullshit. It's also called Revenant. It is on Tubi. If you so choose to watch it, and put yourself through the pain. Gosh, I'm gonna read. It's directed by Danny Elfman's brother, Richard Elfman.
Yeah.
Is it good? Absolutely not. It has a fairly loaded cast. Casper Van Dien, Rod Steiger, Kim Cattrall, Natasha Lyonne, Craig Ferguson. Udo Kier makes a brief appearance. That's why I watched it. I'm not shameful to admit that.
Udo Kier, you say. Interesting. I'm here for the Craigie Ferg.
It's
So
so bad. This
I
is
like Craig Ferguson. He's a good guy.
yeah, this movie will make you. I think I was texting you when I was watching this, and I was like, I'm gonna shoot myself in the head. This is bad. I say this as someone, I say this very confidently. This is possibly the most horny thing I've watched. I mean, it's crazy.
We'll see.
Don't will see me. You'll like want to kill yourself too. It's
What if I give it
a
a 3.5 star and somehow find
be
validation and
so
enjoyment?
mad. I will be so mad.
It's unlikely, so don't get your hopes
It's
up.
so unlikely.
Don't get your hopes up. This is
Yeah, this film is a total piece of bullshit, and I kind of love it.
kind of fun for it
Um,
for the time of year where
yeah,
we're
no,
all
it's fine,
stressed to watch the good things. Watch a
dude.
bad film. Watch an
Watch a
entertaining
bad
film.
movie every once in a while,
You
and you
kind
will be
of
so
deserve it.
humbled. You will be so humbled so
Yeah.
quickly. Yeah, this movie not good, but it's fun and entertaining, and everyone should have to at least listen to the pain we're gonna go through. Because I don't know if there's any real value in this thing, but it came out the same year Blade did, which is probably one of my favorite superhero movies ever. This will be our first like kind of masochistic episode, if you don't mind. If United Trash and Flexing with Monty didn't count as masochistic, this definitely will because it is a pain to get through. All right, we're gonna do Modern Vampires next episode. We have an Instagram page. You can follow it at Where Is My Mind Podcast. We're the only Instagram account with that name. Don't get it confused. We're in the middle of posting Horror Gives Back stuff from Unsung Horrors.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, if you see any of that, you've come to the right page. You can follow me on Instagram and Letterboxd at parkit_be. You can follow Ryan on Instagram and Letterboxd at Ryan_BMD. I also have a blog spot where we occasionally post. Is there any warning to when that stuff will be posted or any real dates? No. I just do it when I feel like it because I am stressed.
Come to Discord. You know.
We have a Discord too.
Yeah.
Yeah, please. We have a Discord. We're cool. We show films there occasionally. We talk about, horror. We talk about horror a lot. just a lot of interesting stuff. We have like a whole channel of like full movies that like we find on YouTube that are actually good. And that's kind of crazy to think about, but we have that.
Yeah, share the good stuff
Yeah.
with each other.
Thank you all for listening.
Thank you
We'll see
guys.
you next time.